Hey, what's up, YouTube? Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards 86 here, and I have a deck profile for you, my Spellcaster deck. So let's get started. Alright. So I have 3 Dark Magicians in my Spellcaster deck, and one is the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician. Double Mystical Elf. She's a good defense monster, and, well, doesn't have an effect, but still a good defense monster. Neo the Magic Swordsman, just because he's awesome. Gravekeeper's Assailant, because if Necro Valley's on the field, you can change the battle position of a monster. Double Dark Magician Girl, because she gets a power-up from the 3 Dark Magicians if they're in the graveyard. Herald of Creation, because if one of my Dark Magicians is destroyed and I have a card in my hand I don't need, I can discard that card and get the Dark Magician back. So, yeah. Sorcerer of Dark Magic, just to have a powerhouse in my deck. Plus, he negates all trap cards and destroys them, so I'm practically invincible except if someone destroys him. Gravekeeper's Commandant, because I can add Necro Valley to my hand. Chaos Sorcerer, because I need a powerhouse in my deck and he can banish monsters. Old Vindictive Magician, if he's flipped up, you can destroy one monster on your opponent's field, so it's really helpful if your opponent has a really strong monster. Gravekeeper's Cannon Holder, if you sacrifice a Gravekeeper monster, you can inflict 700 points of damage, so that's really a really good power. Dark Magician Knight, automatically when it's summoned, it destroys one monster on the field. Gravekeeper's Spear Soldier, if a monster's defense is lower than its attack, the difference is deducted from your opponent's life points. Gravekeeper Spy, because if she's destroyed, you can summon another Gravekeeper monster with 1500 attack points or less. Gravekeeper's Descendant. If I tribute one Gravekeeper monster on the field, I can destroy one card my opponent has on the field. Gravekeeper's Chief, because if I have a Necro Valley on the field, my cards in my graveyard are unaffected by Necro Valley. Element Magician, because if what does it do again? Oh, if there's a monster with a water or wind attribute monster, she gains effects according to those. If a water monster is on the field, control of the card cannot be switched. If a wind monster is on the field, if this card is destroyed by your opponent's monster as a result of battle, it can attack once again in a row. Gravekeeper's Visionary, it gains 200 attack points for every Gravekeeper monster in the graveyard. Triple Dark Magic Curtain, because I can summon Dark Magician from my deck immediately. All I have to do is sacrifice half of my life points. Seal of Orichalcos, because it gives my monsters an extra boost. Shield Crush, if my opponent has one defense monster on the field, I can just destroy it and take down my opponent right then and there. Knight's Title, just to summon Dark Magician Knight. Gravekeeper Steely, I can get 2 Gravekeeper monsters back from my graveyard. Magic Formula, adds 700 attack points to a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. Sword's Revealing Light, stops my opponent from attacking for 3 turns, which gives me plenty of time to develop a new strategy if my opponent should, destroy my first strategy. Gravekeeper's Servant. Hang on. Oh, your opponent has to send one card from the top of her deck, from the top of his or her deck, to attack. Mystical Space Typhoon, because I can destroy one back row card. Card Destruction, if you think your opponent has a really powerful card and you have really crappy cards in your hand, you can just discard them and draw a new hand. Monster Reborn, just because it's awesome. Necro Valley, to stop my opponent from getting monsters back from his graveyard. Sage's Stone, if a Dark Magician goes on the field, you can summon a Dark Magician from your hand or deck. Book of Secret Arts, to increase Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl's power. Or any other spellcaster for that matter. Hieroglyphic Lithograph, to increase the number of cards I'm allowed to have in my hand to 7. Horn of Heaven, so I can just sacrifice a weak monster on my field and destroy another opponent's monster, a much stronger one. Magic Jammer, to destroy something like, if my opponent would MST a card I really need, I could just destroy the MST. Mirror Force, I should say. It destroys all monsters in attack mode, so it's really good if you have an opponent that has a really strong card on the field. Light Force Sword, if your opponent has a card in his or her hand, you can just remove from play for 4 turns. Crevice into the Dark Dimension. If it's combined with Escape from the Dark Dimension, you can just, for this card, you can send monsters out of play, and then with Escape from the Dark Dimension, you can bring them back into play. Dark Mirror Force combined with the Mirror Force, it can destroy both defense and attack position monsters. Dark Bribe, just in case my opponent destroys a card wants to destroy a card I really need, or does something I don't want them to do, I can just Dark Bribe them. Solemn Judgment. This was more of a side deck card, but I put it in my deck anyways, just to defend against if my opponent has a Lava Golem or something that destroys me while I'm in my standby phase. I can just skip my standby phase. Yep. So thanks YouTube for watching, and have a good day.